Ooh. 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 Yo, hey, how's it going, Danny? How's it going? It's Elsa. No, it's not. It's Elisa. It's Elsa. Fucking. Hey, Danny, are you coming to the show tonight? 1 second. Okay, wait a second. I got some AI questions. Okay, announcement. Everyone, Kev here live online. Did that? Okay, cool. Elisa. Yo, how's it going? How's it going, Valley Girl? How's it going, Short Kitten? Elisa, every time I see. Also, who's your avatar? I like you. I see Elisa with a K and a 7 and 4. And I mean, you're here all the time. I know the most, but I always get your name wrong, I think. Just listening for now, but in 15 minutes, Kev, don't forget to get my number in the Discord. Okay, cool. I got you. Yo, how's it going, Gallant? Dude, I'm full blown, no jokes, no bullshitting. I'm writing a book fully. I also think I'm going to write it. I'm not going to half-ass anything at all, even kind of, but I was like, I know I mean business when I get really excited and kind of just like not overwhelmed about things, but just kind of very like, oh my goodness. And I got, oh my goodness, as fuck today. Like I woke up, I try to do my morning pages. So I'm like writing a bit. And then one of my friends who's an author was like, yo, Kev, could I send you my, I didn't expect any streams today. The show, yes, for sure. Well, I came home to kind of just talk to mom, and then she was just like, I'm going to bed. And I'm like, well, I'm here, you know? But so I talked to my friend, and she was just like, yo, could I send you, I'm going to do a pitch. I'm going to, yeah, we're trying to, but I'm just here. But we're going to write a book. I also, I want to ask you guys, how's it going, Spider? Is a person from Facebook Marketplace trying to sell? Whoa. Oh, I think I kind of, is that like a famous meme, or is that just an actual dude you know, or you've seen on Facebook Marketplace? But so yeah, I came here and she was just like, I'm going to bed. And I'm like, okay. So the thing is, my friend was just like, yo, I'm going to pitch in LA in a month. Can I make a video? And she's like a stand-up. She's really good at performing. So she was just like, can I make a video and send it to you for you to have some notes? And I was just like, yeah. And then, so I have a friend. How's it going, Kenny? How are you, Kenny? So it's also funny. I just kind of want to put it down. It's a popular picture. I thought I recognized him. It's funny because it's really small. And I was just like, is that mom? So I kind of wanted to like also just like get it down on paper. Not right now, but I mean, I've been recording today in my little, I think it's called Plaid, which is weird. Anyhow, I have a friend named Kat that's going to start working with us. And I think that I was saying it as a metaphor for whatever reason. I mean, like there's a certain silly metaphor that I have that I kind of mentioned last time I was streaming, where it's just like the energy of like a bomb. I think that's kind of the way I work. I'm just like, there's a bunch, and it's just like, once the thing is split, it's just everywhere, you know, it just goes everywhere as far as it goes. It can, you know? And I was just like, I think that with her, she kind of really wants to check in all the time. And she also kind of wants to focus things, but also she kind of gets, I don't know how, I swear I don't know how. She kind of just gets the chaos that is me. So I'm just like, if you focus it, it'll just be a rocket. It really will be a rocket. And so So I mentioned like as a joke this mystery tour and kind of everything, which is a bit of a bummer. It's like I kind of mentioned as a joke because I believe them. I want them to be real, but also like they seem a bit they're extremely ambitious for just me, and they're even ambitious for just another person. But it's totally doable if someone could kind of put a team together, and that's kind of what she does. Like she produces projects, you know. And she's just like, oh, cool. Well, like, look, if you want a big one, we do this in a year, and then we do smaller ones in between and whatever. I'm just like, if it's that easy to you, because I'm always just like, you know, whatever the hard part is the work, and whatever the easy part is just kind of like fun, you know? I'm like, I could have fun forever and make it work. I want to do the work. But if the thing is not work for you, that is the impossible work for me, oh my God, it's going to be a rocket. So I was like, oh, I want to write a book on parenting my mom. And she was just like, dude, that is the best thing. And I'm like, oh, really? Like, huh, that's funny. And just kind of like, it's weird because it's like, there's moments where I'm imparting the wisdom that mom gave to me, to her, you know, they're pretty bad the last few days, depressed getting, dude, I'm so sorry. So sorry, Kenny. You're here. Mom will come and yell at me soon. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. I'm sorry, dude. It's also, you know, it's a bummer. It's a real bummer. But I was thinking about this book, and it starts with my father passing away. That's where it starts, you know. I can get into like mom's history and dad's history, but it starts with an unfortunate sadness you're going through that I could relate to. And yeah, you know, just kind of like dealing, you know. How to Handle Lily is a great one. That's a great one. I mean, there's like, wait, if a tour happens, yeah, for sure. I also have been to that house. It's awesome. I mean, well, also it's funny because one thing about Kat that would really kind of blew my mind was that's what she started saying. And that was like the fun stuff for her. She's like, oh my God, could you imagine a tour and we go to these things and then the merch and then the book, you know? And I'm like, fucking dude, if you want to do that, that would, oh my God, if I could focus in on a Q&A with mom, I guess, and you could just do that shit and you want to do that shit, homie, this again, like I'm getting the chills. This guy's the limit. It's like, I'm over here being like, oh my God. Dude, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, dude. Really. But I'm like, let's go. And so it's crazy because I was just started thinking about all these like really funny, silly kind of scenarios that aren't silly, but they're just my life. But it does sound funny. It's like, you know, zero jokes. I've raised my mom more than she's raised me. And I'm not saying that like she wasn't a parent or anything. She was a great parent, but she just thought that she lived her life by just kind of like, just going, you know what, she knew where the line was when she crossed it, you know, like she lived her life. She married once and that she got burned and then married again for a green card and then was here and then just went to work. And then she's just like, well, we just have to eat and we have to survive. That's kind of it. And then like kind of with her dealing with me, she essentially like gave me the luxury of philosophy and shit, you know? And it's not like I'm over here trying to like be a fucking philosopher by any means, but like she never could ever, she never thought about it or she couldn't foresee like what I would be doing with free time if I had free time. Like she wouldn't think about what a kid would do. And I just cared about records and shit, you know? And so a lot of that stuff really fucked me up more than she went to work, you know? And I also said too, it was like my mom and dad was my mom. My mom was my dad with, this is like, it's so fucking funny again. And it freaked me out today because I was like, I have all these like silly ass fucking one-liners that I like stumbled upon on like in conversations with people. And I just remembered them because when they were bars, it just stuck with me. And these are just things I'm supposed to write for a fucking book. This is for a book. But I used to say that my mom was my mom and my dad. And my dad was my older brother with fatherly advice. And it's the fucking truth. My mom brought home the bacon and she was a doctor and the nurse. You know, she put $1 under my pillow so then I would feel better if I felt sick because she wanted to buy it from me. Like that's a mother, you know, that's some mom shit. But then she's just like, she's getting the fucking job done. You know what I mean? How's it going, PMM? Will you write a book alone or have Lily say anything? Well, the thing is, I was thinking about it today. She showed you how to exit. You showed her how to. You showed her how to exist. She showed you how to exist. You showed her how to live. That is 100% true. Sean, that is Jack, that's 100% true. That is. I mean, but it's also funny because my dad kind of taught me how to live a bit. Maybe not live as much as kind of like think. But the thing is, Ashley, I was pacing in my apartment today, completely on coffee. And also coffee is just it's just so much. But I was thinking about some things where I was like, I think I could write a book and some people would like it. But I think that with the situation we're in, obviously mom has to be writing the book. Mom has to be saying something in the book, no matter what. Like I'm not like stupid, you know what I mean? And so the thing is, I think that mom will kind of say a lot in the book, I think. But I also think that it's just, I want to approach it kind of, and I'm not trying to be like, because I think I live in a world where it's just like so many artists that try to be such weird artists that they shoot themselves in the foot. Like they try to be so esoteric that they never land. And I have a friend who is a rapper and he used to rap all crazy, triple entendres, the whole thing. And he was just like, once I let my foot off the gas, then I started to hit, you know? And I'm like, oh no, I want to make something for everyone. I want to make something in the pocket. I really also want to make something where someone has no idea who the fuck we are. And they're just like, hey man, these are cool anecdotes. And these are cool people or whatever, you know? And it does have to, there has to be this moments of like, again, it starts with grief. It fully does. And then it turns into my mom. I'm my mom's plus one and my mom is younger. You know what I mean? It's just like literally, we're going to go out tonight and like, I'm going to be a nerd in the corner and she's not. And it's not that I'm trying to be a nerd. I just want to sit down in the corner and have a beer, you know? Hans was right, for sure, Ashley. I mean, it's also, I found out that Kevin has his own, oh yeah. Oh, yo, how's it going? It's me. Oh my God. You also hear, dude, you want to hear something so crazy? So crazy. Today, I mean, it's just also like the universe is fucking humor. I streamed on this channel for the first time in a long time yesterday. Yo, Hans, how's it going? I'm talking about the book because mom is asleep. I'm trying to come and work with mom's asleep. I peeped this one. Streamed for the first time in a long time yesterday. Today I get an email. And also, again, I've been talking to Kat and she's just like, obviously do everything with mom, but also like kind of like spread your wings. Because I think that, again, some people just don't, they just see mom and they kind of like, I remember Quentin Tarantino said when he was a kid, he just watched TV and he just thought that the actors did everything. Like they were the directors and just the actors were everything. They don't think behind the curtain, you know? And I think a lot of people think that about mom. It's just like mom does everything. Mom talks to everyone. Mom films everything. Mom is mom's account, you know? And so Kat was just like, yo, why don't you do some shit, you know, like, and she didn't know what I did before, you know, and she's just like, well, but again, like you're interesting. Like we've hung out a few times, like come up with some ideas and let's see if we can make things happen. And then I was just like, oh, and yesterday I was just like, yo, I just, I used to make these, check this out. And I directed these videos, check this out. And that was fucking yesterday. And then today I get an email from someone who's writing a book on Fiona Apple's Fetch the Bolt Cutters and asked if they could transcribe videos on this channel for the book. And I'm like, whoa, that's so funny. And they were like, oh, you'll get credit in print and whatever. And I'm like, that's wild. And they were like, oh yeah, this is like strong. It's information, you know, it's good. It's like, oh, and she was just like really like sweet. Like, oh, you guys bouncing off each other was just so like wholesome and this and that, you know? And so, wait, hang on. So, okay. It is a universe. It really is. I mean, it's also like, you know, I was tripping today as well, as I do, you know, but, so again, I will flesh this out, but again, there is a concept I have that has to do. And also I swear, this is like me. I think a lot of this stuff kind of happens. What is up? How's it going, man? I'm talking about a book I'm writing, but but I think that my ability to kind of dream about shit in a very serious manner, kind of manifesting, just is a superpower that I never really thought of. How's it going, Madonna? I'm writing a book. For real though. This is an outline. And so the thing was, I was like, oh yeah, well, this is what's going to happen on our tour, and this is going to happen during the TED Talk, because also there has to be some funny ass like dyslexic writes fucking, whatever. And I'm sure that's happened before, of course, but like, again, my experience, again, I'm 90s ass dyslexic, and books are just insane. And I was also telling Kat, I was just like, yo, hit up Audible, because it's just like, I will be on a journey of writing, and this is how I got the information in my brains. But the thing was, so Pete Holmes said, again, language, how these sounds transmit anything that we understand collectively, insane to me. And again, like I said, with dyslexia, a word like house, I could see a house. A word like dog, I could see a dog. A word like art, God help. You know what I mean? Word like a metaphor, bro. Metaphor? Like, how the fuck do you explain a metaphor? Granted, you could explain a metaphor, but it's like when I was getting hip to shit, I was just like, I don't fucking get. But again, my comprehension was fine. Regardless, Pete Holmes had a joke where he was quoting the AC/DC road manager, Billy Thomas. Don't quote me on his name. I think though. But he said that God is the name of the blanket that we put over the mystery to give it shape. Now, again, wherever you stand in that, it's like, okay, cool. If you're the most atheist, you're just like, okay, now we have context to talk. It's like, okay, wow, okay. Or if you don't, you're just like, oh, at least this is what this person has to say about whatever. And it's just like, oh my God, this is so like, there's context, in order to have this conversation. If someone believes that, and then someone just like fundamental, they're like, how are you talking about the same thing? You're not, So anyhow, when I was like, dude, my dad would teach here's an old one I had forever. When I was a kid, my dad played me a fucking Willie Mitchell fucking record, and it was called Perception. And he sat me down like a fucking man. And he was just like, yo, what do you feel? What is this? I don't even know. He was just like, what is this about? Like, what is this? Like, what's this? And I always thought to myself, I want to play records with my dad. Like, my dad would play records with his friends. And then, like, he had these doors that closed. And again, like, I could see the shit. I had these doors that closed. And he had his own room. My parents had different rooms. Which is also, everything about us was kind of weird, but it wasn't at all, because it was normal to us, And I was like, oh, man, that's cool. I want to go in there. But it was also just like, they're all smoking and drinking and shit, And so then one day he sat me down. I remember he sat me down as a fucking man, being like, hey, you want to hear a fucking guitar solo? And he played me fucking Down by the River by Neil Young. Fuck, dude. Granted, that's rooted in nostalgia, but also like, nah, that motherfucker was right too. He was fucking right. And then he played me Perception, and he was just like, so yeah, what does this mean? Like, what do you think? And I'm just like, what the fuck? There's no words in this shit, bro. Like, and again, I think growing up, being in special ed, I was like, dude, I don't want to be tested. Like that's the only thing I don't want to do, because I just know I'm going to fail. So I was just like, I don't want you to fucking ask me these questions when we're just having fun, hanging out. Especially not the first time we're hanging out and I'm like getting treated like an adult, like on some kid shit, like wanting to be like in the fucking big kids room and shit. And I was like, fuck, bro. Like, dude, no, don't do this. Like, you're my dude. Don't do this, And then he did. And I was just like, I don't fucking know. And then I also said, and I remember I was just like, what does it mean to you? Like, what do you get out of this? And it's just like, you can't answer a question with a question like that. Yo. Dude, that's so funny. Mom acting like it's a TV. She said, can you make it a little bit lower? Okay. Wait, I've seen that. It's fantastic. Oh yeah, dude, that's a fucking crazy bit, dude. Okay, so no, I haven't thought of the name yet, but I have been thinking about chapter names. I've only thought about it today. It's 4:00, so I woke up at probably 8, 7:30 I was out of bed. So we'll get there, But so he was just like, I was like, I don't fucking know. And he just gave me the record and he said, listen to it. And I was just like, fuck this dude. And then I listened to it, and then I came back and I was just like, well, this dude sounds frantic. And then this dude, and I don't really remember, but I said something. I was just like, I'm just going to give him something. And I meant it, but I was just like, this dude is laid back. And I like how this guy is a little bit more ambitious or something. I don't know, whatever. I know I'll probably, honestly, I'll probably listen to this song and I'll think about it, probably some things will come to me. And he was just like, all right, take a seat. And I was like, oh, wait a second. Like, there's no answer. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. So I was like, oh shit, I could go. I'm done. Like, oh, cool. This is my world. Like, if you can't tell me I'm wrong, and you also can't tell me I'm right per se. I mean, you could relate, obviously that came later in terms of understanding those things, but I was just like, oh my God, I want to get involved in art in some way. And so I did, where mom never, ever, how's it going, Jason? Ever thought like that. Again, she was a square. And so, and it's funny because I always wanted to kind of make something about like just a funny, different, right up, Kevin, you clearly passed every test life has thrown at you. Um, Fail could not be in your vocabulary. I don't know about all of that, Big Cheese. Thank you very much. But I mean, it was funny. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Really, thank you. But so I was just like, my mom did kind of think, I mean, she thought about society, or she thought about like the neighbors, this like invisible people, like they're saying whatever. And it's just like maybe one person and then the rest of her mind just wandering, whatever. My dad never thought about it. I never thought about it. And so I was free, but also they kind of created a monster. Granted, I'm not bad. You know what I mean? It's just like, I've not listened to my folks for sure. And, even things like, I don't know, like it wasn't really points of contention, but like when we were like, it was funny, which will probably be a chapter in the book where it's just like prom king, where it's just like, cause the thing is, it's not that I wanted to make it about me. Cause I really don't. I do want it to make about mom, but this is the context of how I've been raising mom, where kind of, long story short, and I'll get into the nuance when I write the book, but my dad taught me to be myself, but I don't think he thought I would take it as far as I did. So then when it came to prom, not like it was a big deal, but it was probably a big deal to him. So he just kind of projected that it was a big deal to me. And to me, it was a fucking, gives a fuck. It was a party, And I dressed in thrift shop clothes and bullshit, like I had a fucking vintage Beetle pin on, and I had a pink fluffy shirt. I was just how the fuck I wanted to, And he was just like, you can't do that. He's just like, and he said something like, you can't wear like it wasn't as harsh as this, but like, you can't wear like a clown suit to like a funeral. And it wasn't that, but he meant you have to dress for the occasion. And I was just like, it's my occasion. What the fuck does it matter to you what the fuck I wear, And I wasn't as aggressive, but the thing was, I mean, I held my ground, I had set a boundary. Not even a boundary. I was just like, actually, fuck you, But again, that's what he taught me, And so then I was like, nah, I'm going to wear this. And he was just like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not going to come to pre-prom. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with me, motherfucker? Like, again, like, really, what does that have to do with me? Like, that's a bummer on your end, but like, I'm going to go hang out with my friends. What the fuck you want? Again, and that's also, again, it's probably fucked up in my head, maybe. Just like, so you're not going to be in the fucking photos? Kick rocks, bro. And again, even saying it kind of makes me feel like an asshole. But I was also just like, again, I was taught I learned what he taught me, And then I was the prom king, and then he was like, bummer. But he was also like, damn, you stood up for yourself, and it was your day. It was yours. You know what I mean? It was your shit. It wasn't mine, And I remember he didn't even like, I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't like communicative, but he was just like, he told me when I was younger, he was just like, when there's something up, when there's something wrong, we talk. When there's, and with him and his family, with something that isn't, everything's fine. We don't bring up heavy shit. I'm down to fucking talk about anything. I don't give a fuck. Now, he just left me a maze record on my bed to kind of just like smooth things out. And I was just like, oh, sick. Like what, I'm not holding a grudge, it's just like, it's a bummer you didn't come to the party, but whatever, And then me thinking about, how's it going, Nicola? Me thinking about when I was talking to my friend about the theory, the pumpkin theory, and that being the like, okay, well, if you could walk around life with the fucking backstage pass in your back pocket, and you know you have the credentials enough where this door isn't locked for you, it's just not. But they don't know that it's not locked for you. And the funny thing is, when you walk through the door, knowing that you could open it, they're not going to ask you for a pass. They're not going to ask you for a pass. They're just going to let you go in. If you have step, then they're going to be like, oh, you don't belong here, you know? And so that's it. Like I told the amount of times I've told mom, like, not that I'm saying I would say like, you know, you're Beyonce, and she would laugh and she's just like, and I'm like, what the fuck is funny about that? You know? And I also didn't mean, cause I just wanted to put it in context for her. I didn't mean she was Beyonce. I mean, she's Lily Hayes. Beyonce is not Lily as well. You know, it's just like, no, you're you. I'm just saying that like, you're putting yourself down in this world where you don't understand your value in a world. And just because you understand your value doesn't mean you have to be a dick or anything, you know, just feel comfortable, just be good in your skin, you know, just like, also like character is how you treat people that can't do anything for you. Have fucking good character, be a fucking mensch, be cool. It's cool to be cool to people. You know what I mean? It's just like, fuck, you know, like just because you know your worth doesn't mean you're like, your shit doesn't stink, you know? It was also funny. Oh my God. I was thinking about, I'm fucking stupid in the morning, dude. I was thinking about, you know, I went to the doctor and my cholesterol was high. So I started working out more and drinking more water, and I added fiber into my diet, chia seeds and whatever, and blueberries and whatever and shit, you know? And I was watching I think a lot of what this channel is going to be is actual Dadaist poetry. Like, I think I'm a Dadaist, even though I don't identify with kind of anything besides my parents' son. But I'm a Dadaist, and I really fuck with their ideas of poetry because it's funny and it's silly. And like, yeah, this is it. Like, essentially, these are like a million thoughts in my mind, and I'm just like taking a few and just throwing them out, and I'll be making videos about them. So the thing was, I was watching this, like, you know, I was watching this video essay on Dadaists, and it was, with all due respect, it was just bad, dude. I mean, it wasn't even bad because they sucked. It was just like a YouTube video where they didn't say anything up front. They basically tried to sell a podcast, and then they sold an ad. And I was watching for like 5 minutes, and I was just like, this is so shitty. Like, this is not. And I respect the hustle, and I'm not saying don't have advertisers. If you get advertisers because you've done something right, awesome, eat for sure. But like, you could do something that is somewhat fruitful and cool. You know what I mean? I was just like, this is such a waste of time. And I was just like, well, I'm about to start doing it. And I was just like, look, just because I think this is shit doesn't mean the fucking thing that I'm going to do is not shit as well. I think it's going to be just shitty. But the thing is, there are different levels to shit. And I was just thinking, have you ever taken a shit after you ate well and you started exercising and you have fiber in your diet and you take a shit and you're just like, that's a good shit. It's a good, you could feel the healthy shit when you shit it. But then when you're down horrendous after fucking a late night, you had a late night drinking session and you ate fucking Taco Bell. And then the next day, you know the kind of shit that makes you get naked in the bath. There's different types of shit, you know what I mean? And I was literally writing this out, and I was like, "Look, it's true, it's real, you know." But I also was thinking, which I didn't write down because I was just probably on to the next thought. But there was this moment where there's a documentary called Scratch. I did mention this on the stream here, but there's a documentary called Scratch, and there was a moment where DJ Shadow was digging in a record store in Sacramento. He was the best. He dug the hardest, you know? And there's this beautiful moment where he was just like, he was talking about, and his first album was called Introducing. Awesome record. If you haven't listened to it, it's all samples. It's really great. He would bring these records to the front all the time. And then the guy at the counter would be like, he owned the store. He's just like, oh, you like these? There's a whole bunch in the basement. And he's just like, oh, you like these? A whole bunch in the basement. After a year, he was just like, DJ Shadow, 2 years, whatever. He was just like, could I see the basement? He's like, I don't know about that, you know? And then he went, you know, this and that, whatever. And he kept on, you know, it's like, you know, they built a relationship. And then he was just like, come to the basement. So he did. And then they were just, he said he found the mummified bat and he found this, and then he started digging in the basement and he found all these things and whatever. And he said something, again, it stuck with me for 20 fucking years. And he was just like, he just like, no matter what you do when you're making records, especially then, I mean, the cost of entry right now is just like, right now, I mean, granted, do I think I could have written a book in the 90s? I don't know. I don't think that people would be just like handing out book deals. I think today they'll probably look at like maybe some numbers. And it's like, whatever. If we could find $1, we could probably make this with this dude and whatever the fuck, it's like the cost of entry is a bit lower in terms of everything because technology is so whatever, And so, I mean, I can make a movie with my phone, And so the thing was, this is the 90s, this is at the time where he was just like, fucking dude, I dig for records, and everyone who makes a record thinks that it's going to be the greatest thing ever. I mean, no one's really doing any half-ass shit when they're trying to like really swing for the fences. They want to make it, they want to be the best, And he was just like, one thing that's just so humbling, and this is kind of what I was telling Evan the other day. I really do think that if you start like not meditating, but if you just think about whatever you're doing on a day-to-day basis, you'll learn a lot about everything. I mean, you'll have all the answers, I mean, I was listening to a Kobe Bryant interview, and he was just like, oh, basketball teaching me about life, because if you make the right play, you always make the right play. You're always supposed to make the right play. And he's just like, well, I do that in life. I try to, at least. I just try to make the right play, And it's like this, just on the ball, in the court, he did whatever. And again, it's just like, obviously you start to think, your mind wanders once you do something and you do thumping and you do, And so TJ Shadow was digging, and he was just like, it's crazy that like, the king is fucking James Brown, and, like the Beatles were in there, and, all these, Prince and whatever, Dr. Dre at the time, and everyone. And he was just like, one thing that's pretty humbling is that everyone ends up in the bin. Everyone ends up in the basement. Like the Beatles end up in the basement, like James Brown ends up in the basement. Introducing is in the basement. Everyone ends up in the basement. And he was just like, yeah, so just, make your thing, and just know that, like, don't get me wrong, you'll also be in good company. It's not that you're in bad company, but just know it's going to be shit, over time, and granted, like, it could give someone life, but it's also just like someone else's trash as well, Okay, one second. Wait up. Why? I eat well and I have terrible shit still, dude. I'm so sorry, Nicola. The naked shits is such a thing. I feel the need. Yeah, for sure. Well, but Nicola, that's like, isn't that, you're like a certified baddie if you have what is it? If you have, what is it? Is it what is it? Like all, what's like the meme? Like all like the fine ones have stomach problems. But Kev, I watched that scene on YouTube just because you talked about it. Very cool. Oh my God, sick, dude. The issues with America rest rooms are those fucking gaps around the door so you can't get naked. Oh my God. Damn, Nicola, you've taken your clothes off in public because you've been down bad in the bathroom. That is respect, dude. I know somebody with less than 200 followers who wrote a book available on Amazon. See, but that's it too. I think that like IBS, yeah, I be shitting, hell yeah. Yo, Evan, man, how's it going? I just talked about you. The way your parents raised you, and the way you were true to yourself made you such a creative person. I look forward to the book you write and the other interesting things you create. Dude, thank you very much. Thank you I don't know how do you say your name? But yo, thank you very much. That really means a lot. Dude, looking forward to the book you write. Look at that. I'm also holding myself accountable for sure. But yeah, I mean, like, because I also do think that it's because I was thinking too, like when I was kind of just like tripping, pacing my apartment, the Venn diagram is going to be really weird because I could genuinely say that like even today, today, a little bit ago, I was asking Mom, I was just like, let's just say you had $10,000 in the bank, an extra $10,000 in the bank, wherever you are right now. an extra $10,000 in the bank. Or, and I was just like, how much was the tickets that dad bought you when you went to go see fucking, Marvin Gaye at the Bowl? Let's just say it was $100 a piece. So $200 for 2 tickets. Let's just say whatever the value of those tickets were in terms of her life. If life is like the business of acquiring memories, let's just say, that $200 was better spent than fucking any investment that anyone has ever made in her life, period, that she's ever made in anything, basically. And she would have never spent it. She would have never done it, period. No questions asked. And she's still talking about it, like she'll still bring up, like, oh yeah, I've seen, and I've seen. And it's funny too. It's like, again, like she'll be talking about how she's seen all these motherfuckers as if she fucking knew to get tickets, knew that they were going to be in town, knew they were on tour, knew that she had to go see them. No, that was my dad, So the thing is, there's a funny Venn diagram where it's just like, I'm kind of, because I was just like, oh, let's just say you have an extra $10,000 in your bank account today, or you spent that money's equivalent back then, and then you saw another 1,000 shows. You know what I mean? And I was like, what would you do? And she's just like, I would see the shows. And I'm like, and there's a weird thing where it's just like, I'm teaching mom about how my dad lived and my dad treated her, like even thinking about, because it's like, I obviously have to write about the green card story. And I'm also like, I don't know too, where I'm like, again, I want to be, so my friend is going to take me to an agent and tell me whatever. And I'll just be like, here, this is my thing, blah, 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 blah. And again, I think it'll be good. I think even like the just like the bullet points, like the things that rolled off the tongue, like my father passed away. My mom got old. I said, not on my watch. The internet adopted her. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's, okay. And then it's like on the bottom end, it's just like me, I'm kind of verbose and I just fucking yap. So it might be a little bit tougher to kind of explain my thing, even though that'll kind of be like the heart of it, even though I'll just use a bunch of mom and dad anecdotes, So I'll be kind of talking about mom a lot more than I'll be talking about me, but it'll be through me, Because also, but I'm also thinking this too. If I'm talking to them and I'm like, hey man, give me fucking a 3-book deal. I'll give you mom's whole story on this one. And I'll give you this one on this one. And I'll give you this one on whatever. I don't know. It's like, if they have an idea about it, I'm just like, let's talk, So the thing is, I was saying, I'm going to definitely talk about, the green card story. And again, even thinking as simple as, this is the most serious thing in the whole world to mom. She's like, I'm getting a green card with this person. And they get interviewed separately and then together. And then the first question is, do you know this person? And my dad said, I've never seen her in my life. That's just such a good, that's just like, I will take people's heads off in a book when it's like, if they have no idea about the story, they'll be like, there's just no fucking way. That's true. It really happened. But then it took me to kind of be like, mom, it's like there's that sentence of like, the truth isn't worried of fucking trial and shit. You have to be married to make a joke like that. You're not gonna be full of shit and making a joke like that. Unless you're like an actual con man. And even still, you're probably gonna play it cool. Like, why would you be doing that con? You'd probably be like, oh, awesome, this person's gonna pay me. I'm just gonna fucking say the thing. I'm gonna pretend my best and fucking let's move on. They're not gonna be artistic about it and like comedic about it. If you were in it, you could just be like, fucking, I've never seen her before in my life. And it's just like, now they're fucking laughing, or they're like confused and laughing, probably looking at her face and then being like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? And then it's just like, what do you mean? Like, he nailed it. That was probably more beneficial to her than any like, he likes eggs in the morning. It's like, like his favorite group is the Isley Brothers. You know what I mean? But okay, one second. Okay, opinion people, I want to wear softer polo shirts with these sweatpants. I love this. Coffee is, I think it also probably has to do with maybe ADHD, maybe. So do y'all, that's so funny. I'm glad you're asking. Okay. When I was in Texas, Buc-ee's saved my ass literally. Toys are 10 out of 10. Shout out to Buc-ee's toilets, dude. For real. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm really excited. I also feel like I'm like there are these things which is just so weird where again, I think it's also just like I'm ready because I wanted to make these stories YouTube videos for such a long time, and then I would like ask mom, and then she would just like go on these tangents that were like really good, but they weren't the story. Like they weren't. Or if she were to tell the story, I'm really just like I could either tell the story, like kind of throw away a good story because she is just talking to me. She's not trying to make it good, you know. And I'm not even saying she has to try to make it good, but it's like she's just asking me, she's just telling me the story so she knows I know the answers. And so she's just like, yeah, man, it was crazy. I thought I was gonna pass out. And I'm like, that's not selling the thing to make a video, you know? But I'm like, oh well, maybe I was just kind of like thinking about these things so I could do this for this thing right now. And then I'm also thinking about really just showing the full process in making a Substack where I'm gonna write. Because the thing is, I think I'm gonna try to write 5 days a week, an hour a day, and then really just do this and then be like, let's go on tour. Like, let's really go on tour. Let's go to this. I want mom to understand the bathrooms at Buc-ee's. You know what I'm saying? And then also like do like a real Q&A mom edition, mom and I on stage. I mean, I also feel like when it comes to that kind of stuff, I think that most people, you know, I think that they'll just ask mom questions, which I would love. But wait, trying to listen while my parents ask me questions at the same time. So I struggle. Well, also, I mean, like, don't even pay attention to me because this, I will be not dragging this out, but like, I think this is going to be what I'm going to focus on in my 2026. And it's going to be a lot more than this because also I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go on tour with some friends. There's one more thing that needs to be finalized, and then I'm going to be on at least a 3-week tour in the fall, which will be a bit of a trip. But I also think that with the Dadaist poetry, I think that I'm going to come up with one idea and run with it, and then make like a 10-minute film about it and post on here, and then really set a schedule. I mean, it's a bit unfortunate because I could kind of stream anywhere. Well, I would wish mom could more, but yeah, you know, like I feel like if I go, oh my God, you would see me. I would be a Magical Mystery Tour can be a book tour. That, yeah. I mean, we could do the 2-in-1. I mean, yeah, we could. I mean, it would be yeah, we could. I mean, it would be a bit much. I mean, well, again, I'll really tell Kat this because the thing was, I said the Magical Mystery Tour and she was just like, what do you mean? I need this fucking like an RV sponsor and fucking, and I'm like, yeah. And she's just like, oh yeah, we can figure that out. And I'm like, whoa, holy fuck. I mean, if they could have someone who films, they had someone who films and I edit. Oof, dude. Oh my God. Because the Magical Mystery to my fucking sleep. Because it's like if I have to do everything, then it gets a little bit tricky. But I'm also thinking if we're in an RV and we have books and whatever, we could kind of do the two. I think a 52. I mean, I think a 50. I think that would be. I mean, I don't know if that would be the best in the fact that in terms of book publishers, what they want. I think that they would. I don't know if we could. I don't think that mom is someone in. I don't know. I don't know though. I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna throw it out. No matter what, to everyone, for sure. But that would be a good idea. I mean, it would be two birds, but also then maybe it would be better if it was both because we could do more things, you know. But who knows? Wait, if you go on tour, who will raise Lily? Oh no, mom will be there for sure. Oh my goodness. Like, well, the thing is too, I think that, cause it's funny, like it's funny. So the person who's been helping me with the book proposal, even slightly just today, was Young Me. And Young Me, is a friend who I helped with like social media stuff. I mean, we're just in it, we're just like on the field bleeding, just being like, well, what are you up to these days, And and I bring it up to say that there's a thing in Korea, but in the culture where it's if you laugh while you're crying, there's hair grows out of your butthole. And so I think her book is called I'm laughing because I'm crying. But I think initially the book tour was supposed to be called the Harry Butthole Tour. I think it was called the Harry Butthole Tour. And and that's my favorite thing in life. Like that's kind of like Christmas, where it's just like some of these things are so heavy because some things people are going through such heavy things, and there's just like even thinking about like the Christmas Chronicles, which I love. It's like it starts off with like someone becomes a non-believer because a parent passes away who was a believer, and it's just like, yeah, it totally gets makes sense, and then you have to kind of learn to believe. And even like, yeah, oh my God, a fucking dude, oh my God, yeah, this is it. Like this, I've been having this kind of all day, but this is it. Like I could finally put down in writing my ideas towards Christmas. Like imagine I have to do this for an assignment where I'm like, I'm going to explain what Christmas means to me the best I possibly can right now. And it's like, I also remember when I was like, in my mid 20s, and I went out I went to take photos of my friends making a record in Nashville, and I bought a wreath, and everyone was like, they were stoked, but they were just like, what the fuck are you, like, why are you buying a wreath? They were just young and like, why do you care? And I just remember kind of like at the bar a little later or whatever, later on that trip, as opposed to like, I think it's like such a common thing where people are like, oh, when did you find out that Santa isn't real? And I'm like, the real interesting question is, when did you start how old are you when you start believing, brother? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying believing because you believe out the womb, it's like the parents and TV will suggest that this thing, they will never suggest it's not real. So you're born into it existing, but then someone gets you or something gets you, but then something happens and you believe. How old are you when you started? That's what I care about. So I was over here being like, I don't know, fucking 25. It's like, give me that number. And yeah, it's like, so when I was saying about hairy buttholes and Christmas, when something is sad, but then also I'm laughing when I'm crying, it's my favorite feeling. It's like, it's my everything. It's like, that's the best. And I just know I can do it with this. Like, I know there are moments where like, and I'm not even saying, I take that back. The reason why I said it was with who would raise mom on tour. I just know that like, there is no shot that, like I was saying yesterday, that my friend was saying, Kevin always, he sets things up and there's always like an X factor. And that's what makes things interesting. And I'm like, she completely nailed it, because she was just like, oh, he's like kind of like Nathan Fielder, even though I don't really agree with that. But she was right. I'm saying this. I write a book. We go on tour. There are people who are here to see us in a little theater or in a bookstore, and we're selling books about mom's story. She'll be crying and laughing, and it will be moments of Christmas without a doubt. And I won't know how it's going to happen. I won't know when it's going to happen. I will just know that like, she's not going to be, she'll never not be a crybaby when it comes to this stuff. Because also, let's just say if Kat goes on tour with us, or if there's someone and I'm just like, hey, like, would you mind reading a passage of this? And then, cause it's like, mom's not going to read it. I mean, not that I'm saying she wouldn't, but I'm saying she couldn't, like if also the audiobook would be so funny, because it's going to it'll be this, I mean, I wouldn't read it, but I think that we will chime in on moments for sure. I mean, we have to. So like, if there's someone reading it and mom is listening to some stuff for the first time, or again, she will go and cry, and then someone will ask a question and she'll answer a question in a way there will be the X factor that'll be fucking nutty, and like me be like, this is my art. This is art. This is the thing. Like, this is the thing, Uh, yeah, I'm really, really excited. Kevin can't leave Lily on her own for too long. We don't know what kind of trouble she's gonna get in. Yeah, I know. She could have a sugar daddy for sure. For sure. Uh, yeah, but oh man, it's funny because it's like I'm also thinking about kind of starting off one way, and I'm gonna have to like end up referring back to the beginning, kind of like joke writing, even though I don't know how to do that. But yeah, like me kind of teaching mom lessons that lessons that she taught me again to her, as well as lessons that my dad taught us or me to her. I mean, even if I just ask, like maybe even in the beginning, I could be like, yo, mom, how do you feel towards whatever, fill in the blank dad stuff? And it'll probably be like whatever. Or maybe no, maybe this should be video stuff that we make on the side. Cause it's like if I asked her like what has dad taught you, she'd be like, nothing, whatever. But then if I go in and I ask her some questions and some details and I kind of like not paint her in a corner, but kind of paint her in a corner, she'll say otherwise, you know? She does right now. Lily doesn't want a sugar daddy. She wants more like a Splenda father. Yes, for sure. Yes, for sure. Um, yes, for sure. Wait, what is this I got? How are you guys doing? For real, I'm too swaggy. Hell yeah, I love that. How are you guys? I'm trying to figure something out about the show tonight. Uh, also sick. I have a friend coming, which is a little bit weird. No, it's not. Um, yeah. How are you guys? This is great. I feel very good and excited about this stuff. I also need to make cue cards for tonight, which I probably should do with you guys. Also, mom will probably come soonish. 5. We gotta go soonish. For real. I'm great, Kev. Did you see wait up. Did you see I'm 8 years since diagnosed with cancer and today I got the letter saying, oh my God, no way. That's awesome, Nicola. Congrats. That's amazing. Nicola, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. For real. Wait up. Happy day. I've been out. Oh my God, dude, you should. You gotta, oh my God. I'm gonna have a little drink on for you. What time is everyone getting the show? I want to say around um probably like I think I'm gonna go a little earlier, maybe 6:30 ish. I think the doors are at 7. I think the show's at 8. I think I'm gonna be there around 6:30 ish or a 7 ish. We don't have. There's some people who need technical stuff done, and we're just gonna be up with microphones. Uh, yeah. So we don't. So yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Um, Kevin, did you know? Yeah, no, I didn't. I think that I think it's funny. I think growing up, I think now it's this. It's also weird. I think it's a very common thing, or a lot more. Or I don't know if it's more common. I think that a lot of people just kind of, for whatever reason, people self-diagnose, or it's kind of like not oddly like cool to be neurodivergent or whatever. Um, so like I think that some people who are and aren't will probably say they are in some way, or like being like I'm on the spectrum or whatever. I don't fucking know. But or some people who are like they'll just say it nowadays, and I'm like, oh, sick, you know. I mean, it's not that I wasn't saying it when I was younger, but I probably was hiding it more in some way. But no, I didn't know. Also, the No Kings protest today. I saw. Oh, is it all over? I saw photos of New York. It was nuts. At the same time, having alongside element of a meet and greet added such a cool flavor to everything with the book. For sure. I think that that's kind of like, I think that that's, yeah, I think that'd be great. I mean, for again, it's also so awesome. Like, cause Kat was just like, oh yeah, thinking about, like merch and this and that. And I'm like, oh my God, like mom would be so stoked to just meet people and just like slang shirts and shit. And it would be like, I can't even imagine how like she would just be oozing happy. She would just be glowing, I mean, like, especially like, I mean, if she saw a book that she could put on a shelf with photos of her in it that I wrote, she would be like, it would change, it'd change her life. I mean, I also think that even trying to tell Kat, like the amount of change that she would go through if she went on a trip around America in an RV, she would be a different person. There would be another book there. And I'm not even saying we're going to be in the business of writing books because we're not, but I'm like, there would be like she'd be learning empathy. She'd be seeing things, you know what I mean? It'd be so insane. People hella self-diagnose. It pisses me off so bad. Most are, yeah, I know. I mean, like I told you, oh my God, that's such a good one too. I could talk about when I was diagnosed getting taken out of school for the fucking Woodcock Johnson. The craziest thing of all time. I mean, like, dude, could you imagine? It's like I couldn't say it. I mean, maybe it was like a kind of an inside joke between the ones who took it. Oof, dude. The Woodcock Johnson. And it was like a week or it was like a few days. I don't even know. I mean, it was more than one day. Like, imagine like I spent the whole day taking a test and they were like, okay, again tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm down to end this. I'm down to end this whole, I mean, I was also young. I was like so bummed, dude. And also like weird where it was just like, it was real fucking, it was real tests, dude. It was like, you could tell it was like geriatric. It was Jurassic technology and them suggesting like, we're going to see if this dude's brains are working. And it sucked, dude. Where, yeah, it's kind of crazy where now people are just like, oh yeah, fucking dyslexia, woo. Which I mean, I am too now, but I'm like, it's like, oh man, dude, you don't know the struggle. It's everyone mostly, oh, okay, I'll check it out. I didn't even know I've been trying to write a book, I guess. Sometimes I've integrated into my vocab. Sick one. Sick one. I'm gonna work on something. It's yeah. Evan. I mean, sick ones are good. I mean, you're a sick one, dude. I mean, it's funny too. I mean, again, like talking about the language. Sick one is a funny one. It's a good one. It's a good one. Wait up. Who's going to the show? Is any recording allowed? Big Cheese. I can't believe that's still the real name. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I think for a while I was looking for one. Cause I remember, would, also it's crazy. Like you fucking know it affected me. If I could still remember the name of a test I took when I was in like fucking third grade or some shit. And I mean, I didn't even understand the extent of it. I think I didn't understand the extent of like the meme. Oh, I guess the Woodcock Johnson is still in fucking, see one that's like a 4th edition. Cause I remember the one that I took, it was crazy looking. It was like a transformer. It had like fucking legs and shit. And like you opened it up and then it stood straight and then you like pull, like it was all whack. But I wasn't like thinking about like the naughty fucking innuendos or whatever the fuck. I was just like, fuck this test. And then I was just like, oh my God, that's the fucking name of it. But I think that there will be videos tonight. I think so. I'm pretty sure. I don't think that they give a fuck at all. I think it'll be really, oh my God, dude. I think her name is Maylee. Have you seen, oh my God, if you go check out, I think it's Melee Todd or something like that. I think, But she's a musician. She's a homie. She's on Stone's Throw. So sick. But she's gonna be there and she's gonna perform. And she wrote a song, and it is so good. She made a flyer. I posted it on Mom's story, and it was about how she has I think the opening line is I have a yeast infection, and that sucks, bro. And it's so good. It's like such a good song. It feels good. It's like such a good. You should listen to it. It's sick. But so the thing is, I feel like that's like what we're doing, and it's like all those people are down to just I think get filmed. And also her and Nick Rutherford were Eric Andre's guests at South by Southwest. So it's like that whole world. None of those people give a shit about if you film or not, you know? Lily at a punk show merch table, something. Oh, for sure. Oh my God, Jake. I think was funny too, because I think I'm gonna go. Well, have you seen one of those videos of Dead City Punks? We were supposed to DJ with one of the Dead City Punk dudes, Mike, tonight, but we couldn't. So we might stop by after, but they're like, oh yeah, come to the show. Like he was just like, yeah, come to the show. And his girlfriend is like this like gorgeous, like dainty queen. And those shows are insane. There's fire everywhere and Nas tanks and whatever. So she's always kind of kept safe. And so she was just like, oh, come with me. You'll be with us on the side. And I'm like, yeah, Mom will be doing that kind of soon, I bet. Like yesterday, I said, guys, that guy's on a sick one without even noticing. That's fucking awesome, dude. That is awesome. If I go to a few weeks, I think so. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think she travels all over. I mean, her job is making her travel everywhere. So I don't know where she's going to be. Kind of like I also don't know if I'm going to be here, but if she's here, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Pictures, I figured they may not. When I get on one of my big diagnoses, when I got one of my big diagnoses, me and my teacher decided to tell my class about it. I was a teen when it happened. One of my classmates asked if it was contagious. I think they asked it because my best friend also. Whoa, wild. I mean, it's funny because it's like maybe that was like an honest question out of them, as opposed to like, because I think too there was a certain something that made me feel like whatever was going on in the rooms I was in, others thought it was contagious in some weird way. You know what I mean? Like just like kids being kids, but maybe thinking best friends. I don't know. I mean, I just wonder if it was an honest question or if it was just like someone just trying to be an asshole. But like, I'm with you. I know that feeling, you know, or just like, oh man, like going like, you know, the first week of school or something. And also like in like special ed in my world, you knew the teachers, you know, like there weren't a lot of them. So it's just like, you know, like you would go to Miss Cargyle in the beginning, and then you'd go to Miss Sullivan, and then you'd go to, you know, it's like there were like just like levels, and then that was it. It wasn't like everyone had a different class with a different teacher the whole year kind of thing. And so it was a trip. Yeah. Like every year in the beginning, you know, people being like, oh, so who do you have for math? And it was just like, sometimes they just didn't even ask me because it was just like, whatever. Or like that conversation would kind of happen. I would like slowly like moonwalk my ass out, you know? And it was just like, and it's funny because it's like by this point in hindsight, like I could like fully joke around about it, but like it was like a bummer at the time. It was like bad, you know? I was like, oh, dude, this sucks. This sucks. I also remember there was a time, thinking it's contagious is wild, but if people young, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like some people, but some kids are just dicks too, you know, but some people maybe really did think, you know? I just shared the, oh, sick. Isn't it good? But yeah, isn't that song rules. But also, oh man, I remember this one time. Oh dude, I remember this one time when I think I mentioned this, but there was a substitute teacher. It's funny just me thinking Like, I feel like it was just like kind of like Dangerous Minds. I think the person just really wanted to make a difference, you know, which is like respect to them, you know, but also I don't know what their intentions were. I was too young. I was probably in a Salt Horse Man, so I was in like fourth grade max, so it's third or fourth grade, and and or no, wait, maybe I was in third or second or third grade, maybe. I don't know, whatever. Anyhow, so this dude, I forgot completely. I blacked out, but this dude was like, probably like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna teach the class, you know. And it was like also one thing that was like fun about that whole world was just like, there's no rules, you know. It's just like, if there was a sub, there was no. I mean, it was just like no one was there, you know. Like we didn't care. But also, again, we were younger, so it's like when it got older, we got worse. But at the time we probably did listen to some extent, but like I was probably already on the like I'm not listening shit, you know? And this dude was just like, okay, yeah, you have to read this before you go out, you know, of like before you go to recess. And I was just like, yeah, okay, bro, you know, and probably just like kind of threw it away, like out of my mind, just like not even like considered it. And then he like meant it, you know? And I was just like, oh, the bell rang, and I was just like, all right, gotta go. And he was just like, no, you gotta read this. Like, you can't go unless you read this, you know? And I'm just like, nah, man, I'm going to Scott. And he's just like, no, you're not. Like, you're not. Like, he was just like, again, like, I'm gonna teach this lesson. So when I went and I was like, there was words I couldn't read. And then I was just like I was like sitting, but I was like sitting over my shit. And I just started crying. There were like tears on the page. And I think he was like, oh shit. Like, oh fuck. I wasn't expecting this. And I was just like, I wouldn't know what to do. I was just like, I'm in jail right now. You know, it's just like, I can't say these fucking words. This motherfucker's over here thinking he's fucking, you know, like the teacher of the fucking year. Like, oh, because he's gonna like reprimand me, or he's gonna keep me from going to recess. Like, I'm gonna magically fucking like whatever. And he was like, oh, oh. And then like I was just like I think he was just like, oh, like that's enough for today. And I was just like, sick, dude, you know. But I also kind of probably meant fuck you, and I probably did kind of maybe say something where it's just like, again, what are they gonna do? Like, they're not. It's like this is kind of like par for the course in terms of like those kids, because we would do bad shit, not bad shit, but again, they just put you in a corner, you know. And it was like such like a okay, you know. And I think he was just like, dude, I'm not cut out for that, you know. Like, I don't even know what's going on, you know. Like, I don't know what to do. My therapist told me not to get a diagnosis unless I really want to, because my symptoms won't change. Either, oh yeah, I agree with that for sure. I mean, I don't. Yeah, it's weird because it's like whatever they found out about me, they didn't fucking help the shit, you know. I mean, the only thing that really helped when it came to stuff was some of my teachers kind of letting me do what I wanted, you know, not in like a unruly way, but they're just like, oh, cool, you want to like listen to music and like look at the liner notes, go for it. And I was like, hey, brother, I got you forever. Thank you very much. I'm gonna learn this, I promise, you know. And so, but that's not like fuck. What is that? The helping dyslexia, you know? What is that? Helping ADHD or whatever the fuck, you know? I think it's just like they just I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm better off because I know some shit I have at all. I was just an annoying, disruptive kid in school, but also got good grades. No one cared too much. That's awesome. Every time I tell someone I have a diagnosis, I get the most. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, now it's weird. It hasn't changed by this point. Because again, it's so weird. At least where I'm at, people just rep that shit. Like, they really do. Like, I'm like, I think initially I was just like, whoa, that's crazy. And now I'm just like, oh, that's just like everyone just fucking says they're on the spectrum or whatever. I know I have my issues. Yeah, I hear you, Nicola. We had this sub already. We had this sub. I'm already like laughing. We had this sub, and he was the dopest dude ever. Called him Mr. W. Anytime we would see him, we would say Mr. W. I was in kindergarten though, second grade. Dude, that's so awesome. Again, I mean, oh, dude, a good teacher could change your fucking life for real. I mean, even if they're just cool, you remember them. You know, you remember them. I remember there was a teacher I have. I mean, they were my friend. They're my friends, and they're still around too. But they 1 second. I'm gonna get this lunatic out of bed, bro. They but I also remembered I was just like, I do remember it was also like real, like, I don't even know, like it was real heartwarming bullshit. But I meant it too. It's true. But she was like, I was like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your objective in terms of this? Because we're hanging out after class during lunchtime for a second. I was like leaving, my backpack was on and stuff. And she was just like, I just want to change one kid. And I was just like, you know what? Because I exist, how does it feel to be successful? You did it, you know? And she was just like, oh my God, that's the sweetest, you know? And it's true. She really did. Miss Sullivan. And it was also funny because even after, she was just like, Kevin, I have a name. You don't have to call me Miss Sullivan. I'm like, this is a little bit weird now, you know? But okay, wait, hang on 1 second. Wait. She's back. She isn't out of bed. No. Crazy. She also said, she said, I'm going to sleep for 15. She said 15 minutes, she said. I heard a legendary sub. When he wore tripped out suits. Dude, that's awesome. Yo, my cousin, she was 16, diagnosed with autism. It actually annoyed me because it made it harder to access help. Yeah. I mean, it's weird, dude. I mean, it's weird these days. I mean, I'm like, gosh, yes, sick man. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what to even say. You know, it's like, yeah, because it's like it is so weird. It was just like, you know, I grew up with cooties. You know what I mean? I grew up with cooties, and then it's like all these people are like repping cooties. That's crazy. Repping cooties, dude. Cooties, I need to. Oh my God. I don't even know, because again, what's even better if I say if there's a chapter about my being in special ed, if it's called the Woodcock Johnson, or I grew up with cooties. Oh my God. Damn, that's a good one. I also, yeah, again, I think that I gotta try to make this. I'm gonna try to make this good for people who don't even know mom is the pancake pie lady. For me, his fool thinking I opened like fruits for. What? I grew up with cooties. It's hard out here with cooties. Now those cooties are magical, cool, and everyone pretends to have cooties. Yeah. Crazy. We had a sub. I'm not making this up. Her name was Miss Head. Freshman year. That's hard. I mean, if your last name is Head, just don't get involved. Just don't. I had a friend named Michael Nur And then I had a friend named Bo Jeffries, and everyone's just like, what if Bo and Michael Nur had what if they got married? Boner.
Hey guys.
Boner.
Hey guys. How are you? Hans.
Where's your microphone, dude? Who is AI? Who is AI?
Who is AI? It's a person that somebody makes in the computer. You have a library in his head, and people are using it. Eventually, honestly, people are going to get more lazier. People are going to...
Wait, hang on one second. I have to get my notes.
The notes. I don't know. I drink some muscata.
You're drunk.
No, I'm not done.
You drink it today? You're drunk. You're on a sick one.
You mean a sick one? I went to sleep, ass. I came home. At 2:30. You had the computer talking loud.
Okay, who is AI? What is AI? Yeah, mom's drunk. I don't know what the fuck happened. It's crazy. On a work day.
Not drunk.
What are you then?
I'm taking the pieces of... you don't eat the seeds.
For the love of fuck's sake, who is AI? What is AI?
If you eat the seeds, it gets stuck in your ass. You cannot go to the bathroom.
Who is AI?
AI is you know, he wakes me up. Wait. I barely...
Mom, you went to bed for an hour on a work day and you're drunk.
You're an idiot.
Oh my God. Let's go. Evan, don't do this. Whatever she is, don't do this. Whatever this is right now, let's stay away. Let's go.
You know, take the seeds out any place I am.
For the love of fuck sake. Here, you know what? One sec. Wait.
Where is Big Cheese?
Wait. I'm going to leave this and I'm going to go on Mom's. I'll see you guys in 1 second. 1 second. See ya.